Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Replaceable. I used to work as the sole graphic designer and shift support for an overpriced crystal shop. The owner was heavily spiritual and made giant business decisions on whatever the universe was telling her, along with whatever she decided to take that morning. In my town, jobs are few and far between. I had wanted to quit for a while, but I just couldn't because of the economy. My former boss had moved her shop to a larger location, and she started implementing rules that made the business seem more professional. She said she didn't want me to hang out in her office with her anymore, because if her customer sees, they'll start judging. Nothing was particularly wrong with that, so I said I would only show up when she requested, since I cover for her and don't need to be on site for graphic design work. A couple of weeks go by, and I reach out via text, asking if she needs anything or any design work, and I get no response. I figured she'd reach out when she needed me, and left it at that. In the meantime, I took up babysitting to cover everything until I heard back from the boss. About a month went by, and I decided to show up at the store and see what's going on. I walk in to see my boss, and she looked angry to see me. She grabbed my arm and pulled me into the office, and started going off on how unprofessional I was for abandoning her. She demanded to know where I was and why I hadn't reached out. I calmly pulled up my phone and showed her the texts. That seemed to really set her off for some reason, and she started getting louder. She told me I should have tried harder to contact her, that she has ADHD, and that the store needs to be my top priority. My boss then followed up with, "I need you to be 100% committed to the shop. If not, then I can just find some other girl to doodle for me." That really set me off. I told her I didn't think this job was really working out, and I wouldn't be returning. My former boss didn't seem to care in that moment, but here we are, 3 months later. She apparently had a hard time finding a graphic designer who was as affordable as I was. The stress of not having someone to edit their website, in addition to designing labels for candles for an affordable price, was too much, and she sold her business to a mutual friend of ours. This mutual friend reached out to me recently and asked if I would take my old position under her leadership, and I immediately accepted it. Now we've rebranded the business, changed everything I previously designed, and now I can charge double for my work, since passing a few online classes. Haven't heard too much from my former boss, other than she works as a bartender now and hates all the noise there. The next story is called Could You Please? I was on the receiving end of some malicious compliance yesterday, but I think I got the last laugh. I went to a home improvement store to buy some numbers for my mailbox, around $3. I walk in, there's an employee there, and I ask, "Could you please tell me where the mailbox numbers are?" With a bit of a smirk, he says, "Yes." We stare awkwardly at each other for a moment, and it's been a bit of a day, so it dawns on me that he's being a bit of a jerk. I keep staring in a friendly fashion, and finally he says, "You asked if I could tell you, not if I would tell you." Importantly, their biggest competition, Blue Home Improvement Store and Orange one, is located directly across the highway, and I need to drive by it to get home. So I turn around and exit. The guy goes, "Where are you going?" "Across the street." The third story is called Final Decision. This happened a few years ago when I worked in retail. I and a handful of colleagues were the supervisors of self-scan machines for groceries, including DVDs, alcohol, and other age-restricted products. We were trained within the store's rules and also within the laws about the sale of restricted products. Checking for ID, etc., refuse service if you don't see ID or if you believe a customer is buying on behalf of a minor. So, one afternoon I get the sale. 2 customers with a baby in a pram, so a mother and daughter. The youngest looks to be around 17 or 18, but we had the rule of challenge 25. If the customer appeared to be under the age of 25, we could challenge them to prove they were over the age stated on the product. It was protection for employees and the company, and can incur heavy fines if the police do random checks by sending in a young-looking person to purchase restricted items. Also, while in training, we were told our manager would always back us up when we refused a sale. So, this young lady pressed the button to pay and said to her mom, "Pass my purse." And I walk over as the red light is flashing to look at her, and my screen is flashing up, age restriction, 18. I asked to see her ID. "I haven't got any." "I'm sorry, I can't let you purchase the alcohol you scanned. It's my mom's shopping." I stood there, thinking, nope, this isn't flying with me. So I say I can't let the sale go through. You were the one scanning the items, and also the one who asked for your purse. I want to see our manager. Okay, I call one over. I went and called one over. My line manager wasn't available, so our shop floor manager with no sales experience was sent over. What's the problem? The customers both claimed it was the older woman's shopping. Just put the sale through. No, I've asked for ID and she didn't produce, so I'm refusing the sale. He then asked each of my colleagues and all refused because it would be on their login. He finally called up another manager and got a login to override the machine and let the customers pay and leave. We were all furious because we had been told that our decision was final. We were asked by our own line manager what happened and basically said he made the choice to put the sale through when half a dozen of us said not to. She said she would have a word with him and all was fine. This was until about a week later when he got called again to a similar incident and once again used the code. This time it was a test purchaser working for the police. He almost lost the store the alcohol license. After that, our decision was final, and even if a customer decided to ask for a manager, the manager backed us up. After that day, we made sure each time a customer made a fuss, we alerted management just to make them aware of how many altercations we had to deal with on the daily. They soon put up signs saying the cashier's decision was final regarding sales, and management would back up the cashier. Life was so much easier after that, but it took a good couple of weeks of us calling down our manager maybe 4 to 5 times an hour for them to realize how mad we were. The last story is called Clean the Office. I have worked at the same tech company for 10 years come April. In my entire working career, 2023 has been the worst year. Every week seems to be worse than the last. For the first time in a long time, I went home in tears last week. As a result of multiple employees quitting or changing departments, I had to handle a lot of work. I am a single person, supervising a team of 3. That was my assumption at least. Yesterday, I found out I had another employee reporting to me. My CEO returned from India yesterday. And boy, did I know it. While I ate my lunch at my desk, dry cereal straight from the bag with my hands all while still working, he repeatedly stormed into my office, screaming about this and that. But then, that employee and his work were addressed to me both passionately and loudly. I can't believe you let this happen. Why was he working like this? How was he trained this poorly? And lastly, why does your office look like it's in an evil scientist laboratory after a tornado hit? There is far too much dangerous equipment. A mini refrigerator and water cooler. You need to move it and do something about all this paperwork. Make your team help you clean your office. Now, it should be noted that my boss is English as a second language. He meant to say remove, but he said move. And I had no previous experience with this employee. And I have no idea what he does or how he does it. However, how could I not have noticed that he was doing it poorly? Now, in between mouthfuls of cereal, I tried to calm him down to no avail. Sir, I have never done this and couldn't have possibly trained him on this. I didn't know he was under me until today, so I wouldn't have known. And this is all unfinished work. But yes, I plan to clean my office. He continued to loudly and passionately speak to me for wasting time. Then reiterated I needed to clean my office, moved the dangers, and then promptly left my office only to skip our important evening meeting. To be fair, due to my insane workload, my office does look like a tornado hit, but it's all unfinished work that needs to be done. And I knew very well he was intending to say remove. But a direct order from my supervisor and CEO cannot go unheard. Since this year has been insane, I have put on 20 pounds from a combination of increased work time, stress, and stress eating candy. So I had already ordered an office treadmill. I was waiting for the chance to bring it all in. but I'm under strict instructions to clean my office and move my dangerous equipment, so I might as well do it. I cleared my desk, moved a stand-up desk adjustment piece onto my desk, put my other 2 monitors on monitor stands, added my treadmill, hid my desk chair and put all my paperwork, which was spread out across my desk, into one large pile. Relocated the mini fridge and moved the water cooler by about half an inch, all on the clock. When my CEO walked into my clean office, he was very clearly not pleased. His face was magnificent. I continued cleaning, missing many important meetings along the way. And let me tell you, the treadmill has been divine. Watching my head bobbing in meetings is delightful. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.